Hi, loves. It's Sean. How are you? And welcome to Shanda Says. You are officially entered into the pink room. I hope you are well and looking forward to this Easter Sunday. I know that I am. Tonight's topic is all about realness, and I will be honest with you and share that it comes from a place of experience. And with all that I've learned in this category, in this subject, I really wanted to pass on to you because this is something that I witnessed not only within my own past relationships, but with others too, the other people that I know, people that I love, and people that I care about. So tonight I said, I want to talk about this. And that basically is keeping a covenant when it comes to your relationship, when it comes to um, a relationship between two people, and how important it is for you two individuals to keep that safe and to keep it in a place where it can't be penetrated by others. If you feel that 85 to 90% of your relationship is sound and it's stable, you have to protect that at all costs. Now, let me delve into what I'm really speaking about. I want to talk about how important it is to keep your relationships private. When you seek advice, make sure it's from people that you respect their relationships or you respect their word, that the advice that you're getting it from is coming from a place of a person that you look at them and say, okay, I admire this about them. I admire, the fact that they've been married so long or the fact that they get along so well. Because you can be married a long time or been with someone a long time and been a witness to that and they both were horrible together. But a relationship outside of yours that you see with other people, that you just admire that. Keeping a covenant in your relationship also means that you're keeping it safe, and that what goes on between two people is just special. And the parts that you keep private and the parts that you keep and you nurture is just for you too. And that creates a bond that exceeds any understanding to a lot of people that don't have those kind of relationships. I'm speaking about this because, and I hope my ex doesn't get mad at me, but it is what it is. There were times that people got in my relationship, made comments, got in ears, made suggestions, said derogatory things, and I feel, had my relationship been stronger with him, those kind of people and the people that are making comments and doing, we would have been strong enough to and confident enough to say to other people, back off and mind your business and don't get in my business. And here's the double-edged sword to this subject. As a couple, you're definitely going to go through things and you're definitely going to need an outlet. And you're definitely going to need someone in your life. And I'm saying someone because I think too many people with their hands in your pot is bad. But you're definitely going to need someone in your life that you defer to for advice and that you trust, that will give you an objective view. I know as a woman I can go and I can complain about my man all day long to my friends, but once I've forgiven him, they're not going to forget all the bad stuff that I said about him, and vice versa. If as a man you complain about your woman to your friends all over again or even to your family, they're going to form their own opinion. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter how great she could be. the reality is they're going to go on all the negative stuff that you told them about her or him. The reality is that, and I've learned so much, that when it comes to two people, you have to love each other enough to honestly, and I'm being so real here, you have to have God and a spirituality into your relationship. There has to be a foundation of faith that penetrates all the negative stuff that could come in. And believe me when I tell you, when you're a couple and you're happy, and there are times that you're gonna go up and down, there are people banking on your demise as a union. And that could be family, it could be friends, people that you think you can trust. Those could be the very people that are looking for the downgrade of your relationship. Your man or your woman has to be your best friend at all costs. And no, it's not the same as his best friend of 25 years or her best friend of 30 years. No, it's not the same, and that can't be replaced. But there's no union like the union of two people. And again, you have to treat that like a covenant. So I say this, whether you're in a marriage or a long-term relationship, learn to be able to communicate well with each other, especially not only when you're angry, but when you're happy. Don't be afraid to let your man or your woman know that I'm happy with you. You make me happy. And these are all the reasons why I love you. I say this because we can so many times communicate when we're angry or we're upset, or when we blow our tops. I've learned through my own journey that how important it is to communicate exactly how I feel. And not that that was never my strong point, but sometimes my delivery was so harsh. I'll tell you something. I'll share this with you. I'm a reactionary person. I don't go looking for trouble. I don't like starting trouble. I don't start trouble. Do I react? Very strongly. And I've had to learn that I had to take accountability to my reaction, be it with my mouth, especially my mouth. There are times that my mouth has been really bad. And I've learned to, over time and over being in love again, that's not how I want to speak to someone. And that's not how you speak to somebody that you say that you love. I was reactionary so much. When you feel you're not being treated well and you feel like you're being disrespected, and given my past, I was reactionary. I was explosive. I said things I couldn't take back. To give you a little backstory, I don't talk about it much because I'm not I don't like to play the victim. And I really don't like to talk about it very much, but I went through a relationship where I was physically abused often. And I basically had to escape that relationship with my daughter. And I had to have a restraining order, and I had to go into safe homes. And I had to have a phone that was dealt directly to 911. I had my hair pulled out of my head to a point where I had a huge bald spot here, and I had to have Rogaine to replace the hair on my head. Like, I went through hell. So with those experiences, moving forward, I'm very big on being respected and being honored. And when I don't get that because I was so young and going through an abusive relationship, I am so strong in my reaction that I'm like, I'm not allowing anybody to disrespect me or hurt me at any cost. So there were moments that, you know, my reaction was too strong. And those are things that I regret. But I tell you, I've learned from them. And going into my future, I knew that anything and everything that I experienced that I did wrong, that I have to look at with myself and take accountability for, I didn't want to bring that into my next relationship. And that's the beauty of maturity, is learning your faults and recognizing them and changing them. There will be certain people in your life that will get a certain response out of you. And it may not always be the best response. Going through the training that I'm going through now and going through a spiritual journey that I'm going through now, I've really learned to process way differently and to be able to forgive and not forget, but move on, and move on in a space of pure love and grace, and accepting my wrongs and accepting that people are where they are, and that's fine. But when it comes to your relationships, what I want to share with you, I just want you guys to think about how precious it is that there's someone in your life that loves you, and someone in your life that is willing to share your life with you. Now, the reality is, if you're not in a good relationship, you know that. You know that it's not good. I wouldn't advocate anybody's servicing a relationship that's going nowhere fast. I can't advocate that. But there are people in our lives that we love enough that they're worth fighting for, and they're worth working hard to keep. There are certain people in your life that you will find are irreplaceable. And sometimes people don't get that until it's too late. The relationship can be far from over for them. It's too late to change anything. But keep your relationships like a covenant, and don't let everyone in your business. Don't allow people. Let me say this, and I'm taking it back to old school, like with my dad and my mom. My parents were real strict about certain things, and I carried those certain qualities in me. And I'm going to say this. I know one thing about my father. One thing about him, I don't care what went down between him and my mom. No man or no woman could come to my father about my mother, and vice versa. He could tell her all day long how he's feeling, but let some man think he could say something to him about my mother. I had this conversation with a good friend of mine not too long ago, and he was like, listen, any man try to tell me about my woman, unless I'm asking for the advice, that's going to be a problem. You can't talk crazy about my woman. You can't say this about my woman. That's still, at the end of the day, that's my wife. This is my life, and this is my decisions. And I'm going to tell you why my dad did that. Because if you're feeling comfortable, it's my ring. If you're feeling comfortable to think you can say what you want about my wife, then at some point you're comfortable enough to think you can say what you want about me to me. And that's a problem. And this is vice versa as well. No woman should be able to get in your ear about your man. Now, I could count on one hand the close friends that I would even discuss my relationship with. And then, even then, there are certain things I would never discuss, because that's just between me and him. There's just certain things, even if I'm going through a certain whatever, I'm old enough and mature enough now in this point in my life. I know how to handle my stuff, and I know the right way to handle it. So there are certain things I would never divulge to my friends, because like I said, I'm grown. I can handle certain things. Unfortunately, my mom is not here. She's a person that she gave great advice, and I think that's where I get it from. And my mom was someone that you could tell her anything. She went to her grave with keeping people's business to just herself. I love that about her. I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I'm like that. I have a lot of people that defer to me and trust me, and I love that. But not all of us have that. So we have to be very careful how we move within our circles and what we share and how we share. You know, recently, and I don't know if it may sound corny to you, but prayer is really huge. Prayer is really huge. And I say this to people, if you don't have a foundation of faith, and there are people that are atheists, there are people that don't believe in God, but you need to understand that there's something bigger than ourselves. You need to have someone, for me, as Christ, as God. You need to have that foundation that, excuse me, when things are bad, you have your faith with each other, your foundation that sustains you. If you don't have that, best believe your relationships they're not going to last. And you may not want to hear that. And I'm no zealot, but I will tell you through experience, if there is no foundation there of spirituality and connection, it's going to be so hard for you. It's going to be so hard. But to move on in this subject, it is very empowering to me that you guys tune in and that you defer to me for advice. I appreciate that so much. When it comes to love, there's no degree in it. I'm working on getting a certain certification that's going to move me to a higher level, but there is no amount of certification that would certify me in being a love expert. Einstein couldn't get it. There is no certification when it comes to the heart, but we can be smarter about how we move and how we do things. Because while we're here, you want to live a happy life. You want to be in a relationship with a person that gets you, that understands you, that respects you, that keeps you safe. And to me, that's important. Uh-oh, darn it. I knew at some point I was going to do something that was going to make this thing. I am so awkward. That's a whole other subject. Like, people have said, wow, you should model. Like, oh no, I'm the kind of person that walk down that runway and trip over my feet. I'm so awkward. But anyway, getting back to subject, keep your relationships close to you. There are cancerous people in this world. Believe me when I tell you, there are cancerous people in this world. They will look at your demise and secretly be happy about it. They'll do it. But if you love each other enough and keep each other safe, that's what I was talking about. It's so important to me that I have someone in my life that looks at me like, not like a child, but someone that looks at me like I have to protect her. You know, it's that shiny armor thing going on, a knight in shining armor. It's the protection. I need, you want someone in your life that's like, that's my woman, I'm going to protect her. I'm not going to allow you to talk crazy about her. It is my job to protect her. She looks for me to do that. And it's like, as a woman, your man looks for you to take care of him and to empower him, to inspire him, and to believe in him. That's our job. So we both have those powers and those gifts to do that. We have to use them. We cannot let other people get in and destroy a great thing. And believe me when I tell you, I know. I know. And I know that certain people will watch this video, and yes, I'm talking to you. But I had to throw that in there because am I salty? No. I'm just aware. I'm aware. But anyways, I love you guys, and I thank you so much for always tuning in. Email me, shandasays1@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on Instagram. Lately, I've been getting a lot of you guys reaching out to me through my Instagram. You can follow me on Shanda Says, also on Twitter at Shanda Says, and I appreciate you so much. Happy Easter week to you. I pray that Sunday is a day that you'll go and worship, have a great family dinner, and just enjoy the Lord, because we all need him. We do. I love you all, and I thank you so much for loving me. Mwah. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.